Joshua, you have to avoid two mistakes. First, never mistake Canaan for heaven. The promised land in Joshua's day symbolizes the life I promise you before you get to heaven, while you're still living here. My promise to you when you get to heaven, which by the way will be this earth restored to full beauty, is that there will be no fighting, only harmony. No failure, only fullness.
And listening to my book
joy.
called
It will be
66
your
Love
best
Letter.
life forever. My promise to you for now is that you can move toward me and become like my son.
The focus is
But
on the
it will
book.
involve
Listen to the book.
exhausting battle,
Listen to the
humbling
book.
failure. Second,
Listen
never
to the
mistake the
words.
enemies in Canaan for
And over
only
here we
those
have,
things that are wrong in the world around you. There is much that is wrong in the world, and you must stand against it. But your worst enemy is in you. And I don't mean the devil. I mean your tendency to want what you want more than what I want, and to think that's perfectly okay with me. Well, it isn't. You see, when I had Joshua kill the terribly wicked people in Canaan, I was more concerned about the tendency in my people to feel attracted to the self-protecting, pleasure-seeking ways of Canaanites. I wanted my people, whom I chose to be holy, to make no provision for the flesh within them, for that unholy inclination to use me to make their lives work, rather than trust in me to accomplish my plan of love through blessings and hardships. I tell Joshua's story in three parts. First, he led the people to enter the land. That's the story of the Jordan crossing that I tell in Joshua 1 through 5. Second, Joshua led the people to defeat the enemies in the land. Enemies who, by the way, were capable of no worse evil than my people. That's in Joshua 6 through 12. And third, he led the people to enjoy the provisions of the land, which represents a mere taste of what I have in store for my family at that eternal party I'm throwing. All of that is narrated in Joshua 13 through 24. And notice that entering the land, crossing the Jordan, involved no conflict, only trust. But once in the land, there were battles to fight. Invite Christians to live for Jesus and imply that the Christian life is all about blessings, about entering a land filled with milk and honey with no real battles, and they'll all come forward. Churches that never deal with the real fight that following my son requires often grow large, but mostly with small Christians. Defeating their enemies involved conflict for Israel, and failure, and the need for discernment as well, just as it does in your life. Israel had to fight real battles with real swords that shed real blood. Some of them, like Achan, preferred blessings to battle. That preference led to failure, as it will in your life. Discernment, too, is hard to come by. Even Joshua